Loading screens. They are fun. I wish I had some like
Exactly.
Tetris or something you could play while it's loading.
Exactly. Alrighty, and as we are pushing them out of one of these is going to finish up in the losers bracket and start to push forward. Marcus, why don't you go ahead and call them out for us?
Alright, top right we have our yellowish Protoss player Ryujiu. Bottom left we have our green Terran Synystyr. Both in the losers bracket right now, but they are working their way back into winners. Or to the finals. So Brian, what do you think about this matchup on this map?
You know, personally, as a Protoss player, I really like this map against anything but Zerg. you know, but on the flip side, this is a really, you know this too when you play on your Protoss or Terran. Anytime that you've got these like nice cliff areas, that always can be a horrible to push in spot when you're dealing with tanks and things like that, because they can seize up on all that high ground and just get free shots. But it's wide enough of a map that you've got several different routes to attack from. So I personally kind of like it on the Protoss side. But like I said, I think I'm not saying that this favors Zerg. I'm just saying it's hard to control Zerg on this map.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side of that though, I played a game yesterday on this map with the Protoss player. And we were both like 4 or 5 bases. Went really good for me. I had a big army, a lot of Brood Lords. And then I see a mothership floating slowly into my base. But then there's a bad recall and everything, all my thickness dies. And I have a ramp, so I can't really up with my roaches to fight his back. So I just lose the game.
Yeah.
I actually want to see people do that more.
Yeah,
Because I loved it. Kiwikaki is one of my favorite Protoss players just because he's the first person I ever saw do that.
Yeah,
Just float a mothership down the side of the map and just recall everything into their main. It's
I
dangerous.
I played a Protoss once who was PvP, and he kept bringing carriers in, and right when they were about to die, they would just disappear on me. I'm like, what just happened? And and it took me like 2 times before I realized, oh my god, because you forget about recall, because so many people don't use it. Sort of like we've seen some of the GSLs. We've seen a GG before based on hallucinations.
Oh yeah, the famous Hydra hack game.
Yeah.
Only has those hallucinated units.
Yeah.
They still managed to win somehow.
I can just picture the rage when you have so many broods and then you just see a flock of voids.
Yeah.
I would probably leave too.
Yeah. Poor Hydra.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's learned his lesson because he used to. Well, I think he still does kind of GG out a little bit quicker than he should.
Not so much anymore. I mean, he used to constantly games that you thought he had won.
Alright, Stalker gonna come in here and take a gander and say, is there an expansion? Well, Marine's gonna go ahead and decide to come chase this down a little bit.
And it looks like Synystyr going for a similar opening he went in his TVT game. He's getting that combat shield out, but he's getting +1 weapon instead of that armor.
Okay, Observer working its way out now. We do see Marauder on its way. And really interesting, 7 minutes in. Neither are expanding yet.
Yeah,
Both.
this looks like a real old school TVP action game. Normally,
It's like
nowadays,
Season 1 GSL TVP.
yeah, nowadays everyone full expand. Here we see these really classic frigate robo. The Terran you need 1 more rack to go to basic 3 racks, and then we are all set for beta style.
It's called StarCraft 2 Classic.
Yeah.
Only on IBD.com.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I made it out of bronze with never having to take more than a second base, and the second base was only used because the main was mined out, so it wasn't a real. It was more. It was a transferred base, not a actual expanded
You
base.
just moved. You didn't
Yeah,
expand. Yeah.
yeah. No, you had to actually expand because you were still collecting on those gas. So yeah. And you're like, look at all this extra gas, and we are going really quick one base Colossus tech here.
That Colossus isn't going to be out by the time this push hits from Synystyr, though. And this is kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right doesn't
He has one immortal. He does have 2 sentries with full energy. Well, half energy. Full energy if you combine them.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be able to do anything on this big part. Luckily, he's pulling back now. It's like
Yeah,
he's
Synystyr has that +1 as well, and he has 3 Marauders who's going to be Elf against the Stalker.
He does pull 2 to the front, losing 1 Marauder, 1 Marine on the force field.
With those immortals there, losing a Marauder isn't as big of a deal. You're not going to be able to do very much with a few Marauders against those immortals. And he doesn't have very many Stalkers at this moment.
Yeah. They're actually falling back and taking that command center.
And still no expansion for Ryujiu, which is he's speeding up this Colossus, because if you don't, you might as well wait 20 minutes, you know?
And he's not going for range either. I think he wants to just finish it with this Colossus.
Yeah, it seems to be like some kind of one-base push. I mean, it's going to be really strong, though, because we don't have any Vikings. So
Oh no, he has to make a choice now. Does he want to get Vikings or does he want to get Medivacs?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not, he hasn't even scouted it, I think. Like, he doesn't know there's Colossus out.
No, oh, there we go. He is going to go ahead and expand behind this.
He doesn't even know about the Bay.
No. He knows there's a Robo out, but that's it. And he's only seen the Immortal, so he probably assumed it's Immortal and with an expansion behind it.
Yeah. And of course,
Starts
Ryu is moving that. Is going to go ahead and slide this observer out of the way as he sees that missile turret going up. Really good to catch that. Now he is morphing this into a planetary.
We know something has to be coming, since we have no expansion from the Protoss that he knows of.
Yeah,
And this third tech is going to help a lot against his Colossus.
Oh, definitely.
he's pulling out Banshees with it.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of interesting.
This is a really unorthodox style we're seeing right here.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs to be careful to not lose those Stormy.
Okay, and that's going to give his observer another option to get back in there. Taking that down is going to really help him if he pulls that back in and sees what's going on here. I'd really like to see him go ahead and get an observer. Oh, stem up, observer down. We've got poor little thing. Was minding its own business, just chilling. It's like, hey guys, I can't even fight back, man. That's uncool. I'm the flag carrier, in the old wars. I beat the drum. Come on, leave me alone. This is
He's
getting
not
a
going to
little
have an
bit
answer
scary.
once his cloak finishes, though, unless he
Yeah.
stops Colossus production.
Yeah, he's new anti-air and no observer. So I don't really know what you can do about this.
It scares me how blindly both of these are sitting, and I like his hold position, letting the Colossus just do
5 Stargates up for Synystyr.
Oh, wow.
Starports. I play Terran and I call this Stargate. That's kind of sad.
Will even
I
be
really-
able to afford to produce all of these?
Oh, definitely not.
No, and now supply block on top of it, but here we go. He held back and showing real colors here. He's going to have to run fast. Responding, getting the observer out, and
I'm surprised he doesn't keep following the army. I mean, he thought he was not
All he had
there.
to do was pick off that sentry and that stalker, and he has free reign.
Oh.
Yeah.
and he's pulling a Raven out with this, so he's going to, he's not going to be able to hold these observers very long.
Is the observer out on the map? Yeah, oh, yes. Yes, they are. Okay.
He's now making 4 Banshees at a time.
I'm very speechless right now. I'm very confused about what's going on in this game.
Yeah. Uh, it's really interesting because at this point, Synystyr still doesn't even know that there's a second base. I mean, he has to assume it at this point as he is moving some men around to his third. He's trying to figure out where that pylon might be. Here comes the next warp in, but the Raven is out too, which is going to be an excellent counter to this with all the, I mean, at this point he's only got 5, 2 more on their way, so we're going to have 7 of them hitting as these Marines are rolling around just kind of scouting.
There isn't enough anti-air here for Ryu.
No, I don't really know
with
what
all
he can
these
do.
banshees.
Yeah.
He needs to start warping in more stalkers, but he has no scouting information. He doesn't know that this many banshees is coming.
Yeah.
And it
Plus,
just,
Raven, he's going to be able to snipe that observer with a point defense.
Yeah.
With a turret.
I'm really surprised here of how little each other is knowing about each other, and he already got hit with these banshees once, so it's not, he shouldn't be blind to it like he is. I mean,
He's going to run by here into the natural of Ryu.
Yeah, it's gonna do some damage. You're gonna get.
Yeah.
Uncontested.
Oh, he's sticking
this
gas.
is going to deny gas.
Which is actually a big deal for Protoss.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't that big of a deal, though. I mean, that was a lot of Marines to lose.
He's up
you know.
to supply now, our Protoss player.
Yeah. I am so surprised that we're seeing no cannons out here. I mean, you've seen. I mean, you're not blind to the. Ooh, nice. Look at that pylon right over there by the third, which is going to be seen immediately as the worker goes over to make the third. But it's one thing to get completely caught off guard. But when you've been hit with banshees and you're still this unprepared for them, if they decide to strike, I mean, that's just scary. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Look at all those banshees. There's 10 of them.
Yeah,
There's
5 more finishing
one
up.
banshee per anti-air.
It's 15 of them now.
Better
Wow.
Protoss has.
So many banshees. Last time I saw a build like this was on Surface War in the early StarCraft. I mean,
Here
StarCraft 2.
we go.
And he's just moving.
We got
and targeting fire
Vikings
the
out on the
stalkers.
map too. He can get, he can. There we go. I was gonna say
Target firing those stalkers. There he goes.
He's not though. And all the stalkers are gone. There's nothing you can do really.
yeah, and observer's gone. He had High Templar that he was using, which will expose them, but he can't shoot back at them. So what's the point of having it? You know, know it, don't know it. Doesn't matter. He's got to get that Raven out of the mix too. But there's, yeah. Here comes even more of them. Look at this.
It's a
But he's just
counter
going to try and go for a base trade.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen though.
Oh, no.
I mean, he's on.
No. Because gonna pop 5 more banshees soon. Maybe the whole is like really dead. Even though he can lose
Want
his.
to take out that planetary at the natural. As long
Yeah,
as
that's
he's
what I mean. Like he can lose his fourth, he can lose his third, because he still has the planter up.
Yeah, and I don't think that let me double check. I don't think he even knows about this top one. Yeah.
Oh, no.
He don't even know about that top corner one. So
There's so many banshees. Look at that, they're killing buildings 2 pulleys.
pushing on this planetary. He feels like he might be able to trade this, but the units aren't there.
And he loses his cyber core. He's not going to be able to.
Oh, that was the end of.
Even
Oh,
with
but
the
look-
nice storm.
Yeah, still, yeah.
But they
He
are all
doesn't
full
even-
health.
Yeah, but he doesn't even have the money. He doesn't even have the money to put a.
Oh, and he actually
turret
takes
up.
down the planetary at the natural, or Protoss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, he still has
Yeah.
the orb. He has
Yeah.
the banshees, he's killing everything.
Yeah, and he's got banshees at his home, which are putting these out.
And no.
And Ryujiu just leaves.
After seeing that many banshees, I can't really blame him.
Yeah.
You know, I just
I don't know how he's able to
I've got
5 star
I've got
off of 2 bases.